Hello, welcome to Laura's Painted Minis. I'm Laura, and we are back after a full week of being gone off stream. Just had a really bad chest cold last week, but I am alive, so that's nice. We are going to get to work some more on the scatter terrain from the Dungeons and Lasers Elven Woods set. I am just getting the paint ready. We'll work on these ruin pieces, and then I'll probably then get started on the stone on the other pieces. Already did work on this one. This was sort of a test out. Of a quicker, simpler effect with doing the rock. It's not necessarily as smooth as what I did on the very first piece, but it still looks pretty good, and I'll probably just do some glazing over this to kind of tone down some of the texture marks that I got from it, so it's not looking quite so uniform in the texture. But anyway, paints I am using for the ruins are these. And I do believe you can get them all on their own. Let's see. I did have a touch of drift or of black and brown actually in the with the driftwood brown. There's already driftwood brown base coated. So then I add in a little bit of the black and brown to driftwood to darken it down a little bit and get just that little bit of extra darker shadow. And I'm just gonna do kind of stippling on these. Very gentle stippling, so I can be gentle on the brush. This brush might need retiring anyway, but I'll still at least try and be gentle with it. And I kind of determined just the order that I want to do the rest of the stuff on these is get all these ruins done, and then work on finishing up the stone on everything else using the simpler stippling technique, or rather quicker. And then I'll do some water effects on those large pieces that have a little, kind of like a little creek running through it. And then I'll get the grass done. So that unfortunately means that it's going to stay very brown and gray until the end. Except for on those very large pieces that have the water. This is the highlight color, linen white, with a touch of the Osirian sand mixed in. And I'm going to use it just in touches here and there. I want to use it especially where you can see jagged edges. Also just thinking about too where light would hit. And then I will do a glaze right over that just to make sure everything kind of isn't too spotty. Just a light glaze. Got a little heavy on that last bit. So I don't know how much y'all pay attention to some of the about sections of things. But if you have, then you'll have noticed that changed a couple of things in there. I dropped the Fiverr account because I was mainly just getting random people looking for just asking around, trying to find just someone to paint their thing. And just quite often it just was not the right fit. For me to do it. And to be honest, it just wasn't something I was excited about, of having the Fiverr profile and just talking, really only getting kind of random people as opposed to people who are fans of my style and understand, like, know what my style is and are contacting me because they want something done by me. That's kind of what I would prefer to be the case. It's probably not necessarily the fastest way to grow and get my name out there, but at the same time, it's going to be a thing where I sort of avoid checking the Fiverr profile at times because I'm not excited about it. So I just decided to nix it. It's not worth my efforts and extra effort and time that I have to do to make it worthwhile. I'm more excited about focusing efforts on painting things to sell on eBay. And adding more value to my YouTube. I guess mainly my YouTube channel was something I was thinking about lately, and how I could still provide some some value there. So it's not just dumping my Twitch streams there. I still am willing to do commissions. Like I said, I just would be more excited if it was doing painting stuff for people who actually want something from me, and not just random people trying to get something done quick. And I wasn't really sure to begin with, like, if Fiverr was the right thing or worthwhile. There are other mini painters on there. I don't know how successful or profitable it is for anyone else, that is. Granted, let's be honest, I think most people who are doing mini painting or just art in general, like, it's hard to make a lot of money. At least not with a lot of work, without a lot of work. Just going back over this because I felt like I kind of lost some definition here of details. Well, there's what it looks like so far. Oh yeah, got these other two. They've already done the ruins on, but do not have the rock or stone done at all. And we still have plenty of time. We can go ahead and maybe get started on some of that. Might actually go ahead and do a glaze first on the one that I have done, just to kind of see if it will smooth things out like I think. First I need to think about what color to make the glaze. Despite being sick, I did get a lot of work done on taking down notes and kind of creating an outline for eventually being able to teach a little workshop on how to run a session / a one-shot. So we were trying to think of ways that we could be recruiting more people or new GMs basically for our church's annual, soon to be biannual TTRPG weekend. And we did indeed have some people interested. We made a survey and connected that with our giveaway raffle. And there were a decent amount of people interested in a workshop on just like how to run a game. Focus is going to be on how to run a one shot, really, but that can easily be applied to how to run a session within a campaign, because it's going to be a very similar structure. You'll just be missing like how to create a campaign, um, and world building type stuff. But I went through and read some articles and thought about my own process with making the wizard's maze. Essentially, it was essentially a maze inspired by the Harry Potter maze in the Triwizard Tournament, with some differences, but that was kind of the inspiration. Um, so yeah, I thought about that along with what I read in some articles on tips for basically quickly building a one shot, and then I made my own. Between those two things, I basically went and made my own little worksheet that you could work through and be able to quickly get together basically your bare bones stuff. Um, which it's not necessarily anything to do with mini painting, but I've thought about throwing that up on my Patreon, just so y'all can have access to it if you are on my Patreon. Um, I'm not necessarily planning on posting it anywhere else, because I really just mainly made it to be able to use as workshop after kind of going through a little bit of essentially a lecture of sorts, um, just explaining different things about some general stuff about being a GM, and then some more specifics, practical stuff for how to build a one shot and then run a one shot. And the goal is to try and focus on the things, um, well, the important things, but basically the stuff that's going to be able to be applied um, to any RPG, at least to the ones that are actually released. I know some things about Daggerheart and Draw Steel, um, and some of the things that I've shared in the or am planning to share in that workshop are maybe not quite as applicable to those systems, specifically when I'll be talking about using the challenge rating. And that one, I am not. That might be a bit more D&D focused. I'm not as aware of how other systems um, do that. Okay. I'm going to do another layer, I think. Let's see how this looks. Do maybe a bit more of a heavy layer. Oh, that was a little bit heavy. Okay, I think it looks pretty good. Tone down some of that stippling texture a little bit so it's not looking quite so like a hailstorm hit it. And not quite so uniform. There is actually some stuff sculpted into it too, and so kind of really this kind of helps to bring attention back to that, I think, smoothing out some of these areas. Might just need to come back with the highlight color and just highlight some of that stuff again. But still going to be faster this way, I think. All right. Head on over to these. I didn't really thin these stone colors down much. So I'm basically going to be doing kind of what I do for dry brushing a little bit. Because I don't want too much paint on the brush. coming back with my shadow color a little bit. You can kind of see that effect a little there. I'm going to change ever so slightly what I'm going to do just with this highlight later. And thinking about what I just did with the ruins. And kind of... And also what I learned with the glazing. And since I'm planning to go back and do this on the other one, I'll just go ahead and do that now. Instead of... this way, it'll be a little bit more controlled. Still need some glazing though, for sure. Just to help it blend in, make it look like it's actually part of the rock. Just put some spots here and there, make it look jagged. We won't necessarily do that on the bottom side because there's going to be in quite a bit of shadow. It's completely covered when you put this flat. Oops. I could, however, take that mid-tone color and do that under here. This is just like a lot of what I'm already touching right here is actually already sculpted in, so it's just bringing out that detail that's already there. There's some really cool details here. And it does mean that it's going to take a tiny bit longer, but it's still going to be quicker than that first one. And it's just going to make it look all the more cool. Plus I already just mentioned that I felt like I was going to need to go back and do highlighting on that other one, that it already had stippled everything and then glazed. So this, I'm hoping, will kind of help it so that when I do glaze over these, I won't need to go back with the highlights as much. I haven't done a ton of messing around with terrain, so that's why there's kind of a lot of trial and error here. Should probably start getting some more work done on the Dracula one shot that I had started. Dracula inspired one shot. Because that is going to be happening probably before we have a workshop. And if I really pushed myself, I could maybe get some things, enough stuff put together within the next month that we could potentially have that workshop before the winter TTRPG weekend, but not really much time for people to then, because I really wanted people who were part of the workshop to be able to have a chance to get together and actually try out and play through. Their one shots that they will be building basically. And hopefully, out of that, there will be some more people. So, I mean, the goal with that is one, to hopefully be able to recruit some of those people to run some games for our TTRPG weekend. I mean, it's not going to be something we're really going to pressure or make people feel bad if that is not their goals, and if they will not ever um, help out that way. It would be nice if we could get if the workshop would help people feel more confident about volunteering for that. But I know some people just have people they know that want to play, and there's just not someone who's experienced as a GM, and they're willing to step into that role. They just either want or know they need some more guidance. So yeah, not a requirement to be a part of the workshop, but it'd be nice if that was something, a product of the workshop, if we were then able to get some more people to run some games. Because we are definitely at a point where where we have times where there are a lot of the sessions that are just like very full, and I'm talking like 5 to 6 people at the players at the table, which is a lot. So we got a lot of good feedback though about this most recent. Positive as well as like hopeful, constructive feedback, I feel like, on ways that we can improve the events. And so one of those being that we offer that we do a winter, it's a 1-day winter event. As well as interest in a workshop. This is still wet, but we can compare. Can go to this side. So yeah, I think I like the outcome of this. I maybe went a little overboard in some areas on that highlight. I'll just probably do another glaze over those areas, like this area being one, I think. Got a little bit too much. see where we're at. Oh, we are at the hour mark. I guess we will stop there then today. So we got the ruins all finished up. These are the only 3 ones that have ruins on them. I believe, unless I'm completely missing something on the other sculpts. These are the only ones that have these ruins. Those are now done. We've got a start on the stone on the other things. So we got a lot more stone to go, and I was not, as you can see, I was not consistent in what I did. A stone is not on stone, so you know, but hey, it'll all work out. And I kind of doubt anyone who I DM for will notice that, for the most part. There's a few of my friends that I can think of who are very detail / possibly OCD. Here we are. So I'll be back Thursday, assuming I can continue to stay healthy. I did change the time, so that's another thing. If you've been paying attention to my About Me sections of things, I decided to switch to the 1:15 p.m. time slot on Thursday as well. So it'll now be 1:15 p.m. Monday and Thursday. I had just kind of been thinking about it before, off and on whether or not to switch to the afternoon time instead of nighttime. And then I just, since I was sick and couldn't actually stream this past week, I took a look at the Twitch analytics and just wasn't really getting as good of numbers as I was on Monday streams. So I don't know if that is because the 8:30 p.m. time slot on Thursdays is the same time as Critical Role. This is technically an art stream, not a game stream, so, but at the same time they kind of do overlap and have some similar fans. Hard to tell. All I have are numbers. I don't have like the Y's. Those numbers are the way they are. But we're going to try this out. I think I'm probably going to like it better. I definitely look forward to my Monday streams a lot more than my Thursday night streams. So yeah, that was kind of another factor of it was just getting so late, and I'm kind of so used to now having to go to bed at a certain time that my brain's already kind of shutting down by then. So yeah, and also probably not a great idea to have to feel like I need to have caffeine at that late at night when I'm not going to stay up late. So here we are. So Thursday, 1:15 p.m. So got that changed on my socials. I'll telling you now today. I've got it changed on the countdown on my Twitch now. I'll try and maybe put like a little pin here. I can put a little pin here if anyone comes into chat later. And I'll also put my socials. And I have not, however, I have not changed the socials in here. So ignore the Fiverr link. That will not take you anywhere. Or at least it shouldn't. Here, I can do this off stream. Anyway, I will see you Thursday. Hope you guys have a good middle of the week. Hopefully, a Monday. Your Mondays are not being too Monday-ish, and get some painting done. Maybe I'll see you Thursday. Bye.